Hey everybody, so I stopped by to talk about what I mentioned last week, this new pedal that I think I'm going to come out with, and I sort of came out with accidentally, but it's super fun to play. So essentially what I was doing was taking the current Validity sensor model, and I built a version 3 that a lot of people were kind of asking for because there was two things that was happening. There was a significant volume boost, which I thought it was kind of cool. I didn't think it really warranted a volume control, but there was a lot of people that asked for it. So on the new version, I ended up putting a trim pot on the inside of the pedal, which I've since moved to the outside, but we'll cover that later. The last part was some people said that there was some kind of ticking from the LFO circuit here. So here's your LFO and then your LFO mix. I couldn't really troubleshoot that because it was some people had the issue and some people didn't have the issue. I don't know if it was certain chips that was causing the issue, but I didn't really hear the issue in testing the pedals. So it was hard to troubleshoot, to be honest. So what I ended up doing was I created a second board where I removed the LFO circuit onto a mini board, and I did a stacked board to kind of separate the power, and that seemed to have cleaned it up quite a bit. It's even though this one doesn't click, the depth is just a lot cleaner on the new one, adding or separating those controls. So you can see one here. This is the volume control moved to the outside on this version, and then there's the stacked PCB. You can't really see that great. So anyway, while I was testing this, the only spot on my board at the time that was easy access was actually first in the chain. So I went ahead and just plugged this in, tested it out. Everything works. And while I was playing with other pedals, with this pedal, whenever I turned on the germanium side of the emblem exclusive pedal, I found something that was extremely, extremely fun to play, because when you have the fuzz at the end of the chain, this volume control sort of acts as like a reverb drive, essentially, on the reverb that I'm talking about. So when you crank the reverb volume all the way, you really drive this fuzz circuit, and it actually sounds pretty cool. So I'm thinking about doing a pedal that combines both of these in one circuit. And there's some things I'll leave out of the reverb pedal that I've had. So for instance, this LFO, I'm probably going to take out the switch. So there's a four-way rotary that you can hear if you four-way rotary for the LFO. I'll probably rip that out, leave a, probably whatever value I end up using I like the best here. I'll probably put that volume control on the outside down here. I'll probably remove the dampening knob and just have it at 100% dampening. It sounds the cleanest that way. And then I'll add the volume and the saturation control from the emblem exclusive. My dog's going crazy. Must be the mailman. All right, so anyway, let's hear a couple sounds from this thing. So I'm going to start off with just the emblem exclusive germanium side. So that's clean. And I'm going to start this thing with the volume at 50% and the saturation completely jacked. Let's go to the neck pickup. See, it gets really darker there. Now we'll roll the gain all the way down, saturation, and this thing cleans up pretty good. Still in the neck. Going to the bridge pickup. So the emblem exclusive is a germanium, Jordan, boss tone, basically. But and I'm no genius here, but I've looked at the boss tone schematic, and I've also kind of looked at the harmonic percolator schematic, and the transistors seem to be stacked in a way that are quite similar, and the circuit is quite similar. So to me, this has boss tone, or this has a little bit of percolator qualities, but it's actually a lot more harmonic, I think. Cleaner. You can really get some of those chimey highs even when this is cranked, you know, like listen to this high E. I mean, I could be wrong, but to me, it sounds like it preserves some of those high harmonics better than a percolator at times. So let's kick on the reverb. We're going to have everything at noon, including the LFO for now. Let's going to turn the decay at noon as well. So if we turn the reverb mix all the way up, here's what it sounds like. So you get some of that movement from the LFO, which is based on what note you play. So and we'll turn this to 100%. The higher the note, the faster the LFO. The lower the note, the slower the LFO. So that's a low E. It's a high, whatever. So it's kind of cool when you're like strumming or soloing. So anyway, that's not as important as what I want to cover when you use the volume control. So watch when I turn up the volume. We're going to go ahead and clip here because this thing gets pretty loud. So this is just the reverb volume. So that thing gets pretty loud. So let's get to the fun part. When you combine both of them, so we got the emblem exclusive fuzz section, 0 saturation. And watch what happens when you crank the reverb volume. You get a lot more breakup from the fuzz. Not to mention, so your volume doesn't increase because the fuzz is at the end and the fuzz volume is still at 50%. So you can increase the reverb volume all you want, but the volume doesn't get louder because you're choking it off at the end with the fuzz. So that is what I thought was pretty cool, is when you crank, you can kind of do some kind of really fun saturation stuff. So if you also turn down the reverb volume and you get that saturation back from the fuzz, it's still there, but it's a different character. That's a Chris Stapleton riff I heard on SNL the other night. I thought it was cool. So back with the fuzz on 0. So let's go over some kind of shoegazy sounds. So we got the fuzz at 0, volume still at 50%. We'll do 50% volume on the reverb. Let's turn the mix 100%. And we'll turn the dual all the way down for now. I'm still on the neck pickup. I'm sorry, the bridge. So let's turn the reverb volume down and try to get some super subtlety out of here, where we can actually really push the fuzz output volume. So So this is 0% on the reverb. Let's go about 25%. Let's turn the mix of the reverb also kind of to 50%. And that way we can really turn up the volume of the fuzz so you can hear kind of like super subtle reverb / distortion fuzz sound. So now that we have the verb volume down, it's not pushing the fuzz as much. We can really crank that fuzz saturation on the back end. Actually, let's go back to the neck pickup to kind of give it a little bit more of a darker sound. LFO, I guess. Add some more fuzz in now. See how this lead sounds like this kind of tremolo. So you get the picture. It's kind of like shoegazy, kind of rock, kind of just a fuzz, honestly, because you could turn down just the reverb mix if you want. Get just the fuzz sound. So you get just the fuzz if you want. Also, you can get just the fuzz with the LFO since the reverb mix is separate from that. Back into the verb at 100%, and then you get your shoegazy like. I mean, you get the idea. So anyway, I just wanted to show you that I've been kind of working on this pedal. Came up with it accidentally, essentially by accident, by just putting this reverb in the chain. Thought it was sounding cool. Let me know what you think. I'm on the fence, but if you think this is something you might want, send me a message, and maybe I'll make some one day.